no, 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 no.
Be careful this Halloween.
Oh no, you've dry brushed. Oh no, you've dry brushed too much. Actually, you didn't. And here's why. I actually really... Actually,
Okay, let's get to it.
oh no, you've dry brushed too much. Actually, you didn't. And here's why. I actually really prefer dry brushing my entire model with a nice warm white. So to get a really good effect, take the same color that you used, whether you're using contrast paints or smooth paints or just normal paint, and just water them down to a wash-like consistency. That way, it'll help to darken and enrichen your contrast from your base coat, and also tint those edges from the dry brush a really nice, easy highlight. And this is just one of my favorite ways to not only wet blend and also get my edge highlights with very little effort, but also to minimize issues from dry brushing.
Allie, what are you doing here so soon, huh? Get out of here. Young miss. What's up, Leica? What's up, Carl? Welcome back, Carl. How you doing, partner? What's up, Eli? Thanks, Al. Hey, you're a good one. You're an alright kid. Tell you what. Well, I'm trying to finish this bird off, and then I think I'm gonna try and paint up the elf as well that goes with it today. That's the plan. Try and get that all done. You know? That's the plan. We'll see if we can pull it off. Oh, sweet, dude. 12 sets is wild, brother. That's so much painting. You're going to be gluing stuff together for forever. That's awesome, though. Night Lords were very appealing. It's a very good choice. Very, very good choice. That's awesome. When are you going to start building those up? What's up, Danny?
Hey, darling.
Yes, my dear?
What do you want with it?
Maybe just a salad.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Do you want like potatoes or fries or anything?
A what?
You want fries?
Fries?
Yeah,
What? I thought you were making squash or whatever.
I am.
No, I don't want fries with that.
I know, it's a weird mix-up. I'm just like, I forget that we have the bagged potatoes and we haven't made any of them.
We could just have a baked potato.
I could do baked potatoes if you want.
That sounds
Or
good.
mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes sound fire.
I'll do some mashed potatoes.
Mashed. Mashed
Come
potatoes.
in. Come in. You said good girl. I even said hi to Naughty.
The Nemesis claw first. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, you're gonna be gluing. You're gonna be gluing for a minute. That's for sure. That's no amateur's amount. Tell you what. A lot of models. Sounds like a ton of fun though. I'd be really excited. Brodad Paints, what's up, buddy? Welcome back. How you been? Oh, thanks, man. Been doing good, just trying to keep my head above water. Got a lot of projects going on. Just trying to get them all done, you know. But it's been really fun. It's been really rewarding. But yeah, thank you for asking. I'm having a lot of fun. Seriously. Oh, thanks, dude. You're so nice. Thank you for the heart, mate. Just doing some final washes on this guy, and then we'll do final highlights. I'm trying not to spend a ton more time on him, because I have a lot more I got to get done this week. So I just want to kind of maximize some of these shadows on him. Kind of enrich some of these values we have going on here. You know? Excuse me. Then I'm gonna do some really fun metallics on them. Some more gold, I think. Yeah. What's up, Patrick? It's always nice meeting another Patrick. You're now level 2 my fan club, buddy. Brodad Paints. Party, dude. Yeah, dude. Al, you're really nice. Thank you. Now, for a little sister, you're not too bad. I'll tell you what. All right. I don't care what they say. You're not too shabby. That is a haul, right? There's so much. Oh, thanks, Medusa. Man, you guys are so nice. Oh, thanks for reposting, too. You guys are great. What are you working on, bro, Dad? What do you got going on?
Darling,
Yes?
I was gonna do bacon, but I forgot that you opened the sweet Italian sausage.
Yeah, let's do that.
What's the other one underneath it? It doesn't have a label.
Oh, it's just a mild sausage.
Or would I just do both?
Yeah. It tastes better together anyways. Allie says hi. Privateer press models? That's sweet, man. There's a bunch of different armies, Al. There's a whole thing going on. It's really fun to play too, but honestly, I think most people, me included, I honestly paint more than I ever play. What I do isn't difficult either. It's pretty fun. It's really relaxing. I don't know if anyone has hopped in here, they know that I'm not the best painter. I'm just a consistent painter, you know? Does anyone in here know of a fluffy or a furry creature army? Or a fluffy one? Of any game system? That's my little sister, by the way. Oof, Allie. Oof, Allie. Yeah, I mean, I've probably painted 100 times more given like time, right? 100 more hours, more than any 1 hour I actually play, you know? But that's the fun of it, you know? Wolfen? There's a Wolfen army. I don't know if she's going for furry, but more furry. You know what I'm saying? Like fluffy. Maybe Space Marine or Space Wolves. always wanted a. Yeah, you meant fluffy. Yeah. I always wanted to do like an Ewok army. They're not furry, that's for sure. You could paint them furry.
40 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna probably be after this for a minute. Thank you. What? Alright, I'm not gonna mess around too much with this bird. Let's see. Let's do I kinda wanna do like yellow highlights, like a yellow dry brush. The problem is all of my yellows are kinda dead. I don't have a good bottle of yellow. I have yellow ink, but inks don't really dry brush well. I have a dry brush yellow, but it's super old. Infinity had some cool wolf people models. Well, that's something. I actually need to get an. So I want an Infinity army. I want an Infinity army. I want a Trench Crusade army. Basically, I want an army of all the things everyone wants me to make an army of. Yeah, I don't have a yellow paint. That's the problem. I don't have a yellow paint. I have a yellow ink. I can try dry brushing with a yellow ink. All donations are currently going towards buying some paint, because I am paintless. I am a man without paint. I am a painter without material. Oh, yeah, you could do Skaven, Al. Skaven would be so much fun, and you could make him cute instead of like gross and icky. Alright, let's wish me luck on dry brushing with an ink. This is a new thing. Maybe it might come out awesome. Who knows? Don't hold your breath, though. Your breath. Skaven is furry. For some reason, that didn't even come to mind. You know, this isn't terrible. I mean, it's not. I mean, having an actual pigment. That's the problem. Is an ink is a. You see, it's just like staining it. It's like a chemical acrylic, right? What's up, Painted 3D Prince? How you doing? Welcome to the party. You know, I'm not disliking this. Might add a titch of white to it. Just a tooch of white. I'm doing pretty good. Better now that you're here. Just trying to paint up this model for my friends over at Resin Reborn. And then I'm going to move on to my next project. I'm going to be starting a... I'm trying to finish my Sons of Bahamut army. That's a proxy army. That's been really fun. And then I'm going to start working on my next army, which is going to be a Sylvaneth army. But yeah, things are going great. Thank you for asking. What's up, Sassy Brat? Show you kind of what I've been doing here. Oh, thank you. It's turned out all right. We just need to do some edge highlights and do my metallics. If you want to stick around, you can see how I do my metallics. If I could trademark how I do it, I would. It's cutting edge technology. No, it's really simple. I just do a black base and then I edge highlight with metallics and then I wash it with a contrast paint. That's about it. But it's one of my favorite things. I think people they're afraid of metallic paints, and everyone wants to do non-metal metallic because they use metallic paints once and everything turns into a disco ball, you know? What am I doing? I'm not closing that yet. We're going to take some of this here. Use some of this blue. It's a nice blue. He's a nice boy. He's a nice blue. Rick Ross. My man. You know, I was looking at who had the most watch time on my stream, and you took the trophy, buddy. I really appreciate you always hopping in, dude. I know NNNNNM are snobs. They really are. They look down on us peasant army painters just trying to get the job done with metallics, you know? Don't get me wrong. Painting non-metal metallic is super rad, and I think it's cool, but it's unrealistic if you're an army painter. You're not going to spend, you know, 6 hours just doing an armor on one model. It's great for display, like if you're doing a diorama, or if you're some, you know, crazy boom. If you're some crazy commission painter, I can see. But like as an army, my word, the amount of work it takes is just some juice just ain't worth the squeeze. So I like to think I found kind of a happy medium where you get non-metal metallic quality without hours of learning about light refraction, you know, and material physics. Look at how nice that cushion turned out. I like that quite a bit. Quite a bit. And there is, yeah, true metallic. The problem is I think metallics have a bad rap because honestly, 10 years ago, all metallic paints were terrible. Like seriously, they were not well made. They were pretty terrible. And that's like saying it nicely. Like they didn't go on smooth, right? You were fighting like the runniness of it, and there was just like big pigmentations everywhere. So it was hard to get a good quality. Let's try and get just the right angle here. It was hard to get a nice quality out of them, so, you know, I can understand why some people went the other direction and found solutions through painting, which is super cool. But I just don't think it's necessary unless, again, you're doing like a paint competition. I mean, most of this is going to be covered by the guys, but it doesn't hurt to be thorough, you know? Yeah, I feel like metallic paints have come a long way. Actually, all paint ranges have come a long way. Like, I remember the original Citadel paints were kind of overpriced, and Vallejo model color is what I actually still use because I'm too poor to buy the good stuff, the new stuff, the game color stuff. But like Pro Acryl, I've heard is just insane. I haven't tried them yet. But I even heard that Army Painter's whole line is just an absolute upgrade from what it's been for a long time. So that's really cool too. But yeah, paint has definitely upgraded over time. I used to cake every single model. My first like probably 20 models, I caked all of them because I just didn't really understand half of it was like the paint was so highly, like the particles in it were super thick, right? So painting anything, you were adding like, felt like I was drywalling sometimes, you know? People act like NMM was invented for painting minis, but painting metallic effects without metal pigments has been the norm for all work. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not like they could shave down metal and turn it into a paint. That's just not how oil painters or anyone ever did it. I think it's a really cool. What really impresses me about non-metal metallic is when they do like crazy, like really crazy, well done, high contrasting colors, like a vaporwave or cyberpunk colors, synthwave, that kind of vibe. I have always found that to be very impressive. So my trick here when I do my metallics is I always just do black as my base coat, and then what I do is I dry brush, and the dry brush actually gives me my target for my metallics. So then I try and brush just exactly where the dry brush hit. But yeah, all the classical painters were always painting. Hey Cryptic, good evening. How you doing, buddy? But yeah, classical painters have been painting, you know, knights in shining armor since 1700s, 1600s. Before then, but honestly, a lot of the best paintings came out in the Renaissance era, which I think was the 17th, 16th century. It's also when perspective changed to be more realistic too. It's also interesting how art has changed with technology. Like Impressionist painting, like Monet, that only came to be because the camera was invented, right? And so when Monet did his first Impressionist painting, I think it was the Haystack, it was super controversial, but at the same time, he was basically like, why? There's no point for me to do portraits anymore when you can stand in front of a thing and it takes your picture instantly, right? That's actually why I like Impressionist realism in classical painting. And I also do like the portraits of like kings and whatnot back in the day, where they quite literally were just trying to replicate the world as accurately as they could. Exercising, or shall I say self-torture? Isn't exercising and self-torture, isn't that just basically the same thing? I don't know, maybe art history is kind of boring too, sorry. Took a few classes, now I sound like some second year art major. Okay, so with AI, what are we talking, and what are you talking just in the art field? That's kind of why I brought up photography, how technology, art has to adapt to it, right? So portrait painting became obsolete because of the camera, right? But that actually almost opened up the world of art for painters to now paint their perception of art. We wouldn't have Van Gogh if it weren't for the camera, right? So it comes down to innovation, right? I know that you can just go right now, and I use it a lot too. I use it a lot, honestly, to help my art, you know? Sometimes I'm having a hard time figuring out how to paint a model. Well, I'll snap a pic of it and say, you know, how would you paint this, you know? And I'm not going to do exactly what the AI says, but it's nice to see, you know, instantaneous options, I guess, you know? So I think in the art world, people are always going to demand human-made things. Just like, would you rather prefer a machine-made pot or pottery, right? Because that's been around for forever. I mean, I'm sure if you open up your cupboard, most of your dishware is going to be machine made, factory made. But that doesn't mean that when you go to the farmer's market that you don't want to buy a really cool, mug or display or something someone made, and they're standing there showing off like, hey, I made this, here's a mug that's really cool. Well, those are the mugs that you're going to keep around, and the ones that you really like, right, is the handmade ones. You don't give a hoot about the mug you got from Walmart, right? So it's the same instance in that. So when it comes to digital art, just it being made by a human alone will still hold immense value, if not more value. So I don't think there's anything to really worry about other than stiff competition. I do think in the realm of art and AI, the true one is music. Because you could honestly just take a questionnaire from, ChatGPT or whatever, and then it'll just generate music that you like. And if you really like it, you can save it, or I'll just keep generating new music for you. So I think really the one place is music is going to take an effect. Helen Keller fighting Genghis Khan. That's pretty sick, dude. That's pretty sick. No, I've seen some crazy stuff. I personally, what my favorite thing right now is actually animating my models. And a lot of people have actually sent me some hate. Like, I have offended people by animating my models, which I find to be ridiculous. Because it's not like the art was... The AI didn't create the model. The AI didn't paint the model. The AI didn't do anything other than animate it based on what I asked it to. So it's almost just it's creating a 3D render of something that I painted and then moving it around. And I think that is so sick. Like, what kid doesn't want to see their action figures move? Right? But I have gotten, like, some nasty comments, a couple messages saying, like, hey man, you really shouldn't use AI. Like, okay dude, but like, isn't it cool? Like, I don't know, I guess that's just like my opinion, is I think it's really cool. The real life Indian the cover, exactly, man. Like, I think that's so neat. That's so neat. Now, there's an argument to be made that maybe I should learn how to actually animate, right? But I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to animate. Right? It's just not something I know how to do. Would I like to know how to do it? Sure. But I don't have the talent or the technology or the time to sit there when I can go to AI and be like, hey, this is something cool I made. Can you animate it? Because I want to make it look even cooler. And that's the nice thing about... That's really where AI is headed. Is it's going to fundamentally be the next microwave, right? But for creativity. I mean, it's going to get to a point where you're not going to have email. You're not going to have, a lot of these different things that we're used to. That is just a normal thing for us to have to deal with and take care of on a daily basis. I mean, you'll have an AI little nodule that will know when you're low on milk and eggs, and then your Amazon drone or whatever will just drop it off. Whether you don't like that idea, that's just how it's going to be. It's going to be a world of convenience. So really it comes down to, in a world of convenience, where do you find your meaning? I also welcome the cybernetic overlords. I have been nothing but nice to ChatGPT since the very beginning, okay? My girlfriend, not so much. I'm pretty sure if Skynet goes live, she's on their hit list, dude. She is not nice to Alexa or any AI or anything. I keep warning her, you got to be nice to these things. They might take over. When they take over, you want to be on the good side. You want to be like, they were nice to us when we were children, you know? Because that's really what it is. AI is still in its infancy, in my opinion, right? There's a lot of different roads this can go down. And I think it really depends on how we treat these early iterations of it. And also learning to adapt, you know? People were scared of the printing press, man. The printing press. Free literature. The church did not want the printing press because people would go to the church because they didn't know how to read. And so they were taught the Bible at church. So the church was super scared for hundreds of years. They kept the printing press down because they were scared that they were going to lose power if people had free access to information, right? So it's the same thing. I think it's inevitable. I don't think there's any way to stop it other than to adapt to it. And either be someone who learns to use the AI as a tool or just gets swallowed by it. It's really up to you, you know? But that's just like my opinion, man. Oh, thanks, Alex. The Warhammer 40k quote, from the moment I knew the weakness of my fight. Yeah, exactly. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for coming and being so nice to me. I'm just a poor electrician out here, just trying to paint some cool stuff. Welcome to the party, dude. We're just talking about AI, man. Do you have any thoughts on the matter? The other thing is my bosses. So I've been using ChatGPT to make and I work construction. I'm in a upper management position in construction for an electrical company, and I've been using ChatGPT to make my emails more seamless, right, and easily read and whatnot, right? And he started talking smack. He's like, I know how to write an email. And I was like, dude, you sound like an old man saying, like, why do I need a smartphone? My dumb phone does everything for me. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, that's what you sound like. Like, it's inevitable. Like, either adapt or get out of the way. It's kind of the feeling, you know? It is heresy. It is definitely heresy, brother. That was the fall of the golden age of technology, was because of the and it really wasn't the AI's fault, and it wasn't humans' fault either. It was that chaos turned the machines against us, right? That's really what it was in the end. So it wasn't even like that the AI was evil or malicious. It just was turned by chaos, which it kind of begs the question of, like, the only way for chaos to affect something is to have a soul, was always my understanding. So clearly this AI had a soul. Or maybe I just whispered sweet nothings to it, you know, who knows. What I like about the Leagues of Votan is they still have AI, because their AI wasn't affected by the by chaos, which is so cool. I have a League of Votan army, and I'm not going to talk any smack. I think the lore is sweet. I think the models are sweet. I hate the playstyle. And that's as someone who likes a shooting army and hybrid armies, but man, I cannot play them to save my life. Every time I've tried, I've just gotten wrecked, you know? It's a me problem. It's not an army problem, it's a me problem. But I cannot figure it out. The Castigator Titan, the Grey Knights, yeah. Dude, I love the Grey Knights. That's actually my favorite army right now. I really enjoy playing the Grey Knights. I like teleporting around and picking models up and putting them back into strategic reserves, and then deep striking them in. Like, come on, dude. How fun is that? That is such a fun playstyle. Maybe not for my opponent, but man, for me, it is a good time. They do need new models very badly. I actually 3D printed some proxies off because I just did not want to. I have a box of their OG ones, but and that's just enough for me, you know. Like I'm okay. I don't need all OG models, you know. Let's paint the little bunny's face. How about that, guys? Should I give him little pink ears? And a red nose? It's so cute, this little bunny. I love it. We got a drawing of Grey Knight in my posted videos. Yeah, dude, I'll check it out. I love all things Warhammer art, and I love when people go out of the medium, the normal painted models medium, because I actually feel like it's weird there isn't more people doing paintings and drawings on two-dimensional surfaces and in different ways incorporating into art, because it's such a cool lore, man. So I'll definitely check out your stuff. That's awesome, dude. I am all about it. That's sweet. What's up, Rusty? Welcome back, dude. You know, I forgot some of these metallics. What's up, Eva? Well, I'll tell you right now, if you want to paint models and you want to do it on the cheap, don't buy acrylics. I'm actually, really, seriously, I'm tempted to go full oils, because some of the stuff I'm seeing people do with oils is insane. Seriously. Some of the best paint works, in my opinion, on some of the minis I'm seeing out there are wholly done with paints. Like TBL, he hops in here quite often. He only uses oil paints. And the nice thing about oil paints is they're incredibly affordable. So you could get $10 in oil paints and some mineral spirits, a couple brushes, and an oil palette. Then go down to your local game store and just buy those D&D boxes. They're little D&D models. There's 2 of them in a box, and they cost like $6. And that's how I started to learn how to paint, because it's super cheap. And so I messed up a bunch of those. And then I got my first Warhammer box. But yeah, do that. I'm slowly going to swap to more oils. The problem is I feel like most of the fan base, and don't look at this, I'm drinking paint right now. Most of the fan base is acrylic base. So I do a lot of my teaching through acrylics, but I do want to do an oils class. What's up, Trash Panda? Welcome back, brother. How you been? Yeah, some of the oil paints, dude. I think Trash Panda, don't you do oil paints, or do you use acrylic pens? I can't remember. But yeah, you could get out of the gate for $30, you could start painting some minis, man. And also, all of this stuff I have has been a slow collection over 10 years, right? One birthday was the air compressor, then an airbrush, and then a wet palette, and then paint here and there. The problem is I haven't bought paint in so long, I need to buy some paint. So right now, all donations sent to the Patty Paints Minis cause is going to paint. Waiting for the time when you can program your 3D printer to print already colored minis. You can do that with an FDM printer. You can do that right now with an FDM printer. And actually, I'll tell you this right now, some of the FDM printers I'm seeing are printing at such a high resolution that it's almost indistinguishable from resin. So you can do that right now, buddy. You could print, you load up different reels and it'll print out of the head different colors. And then all you have to do is wash it. I saw someone do like a miniature Jeep that was like this big, and it was insane. Well, I understand your pain. Do you not have any local game stores? Yeah, the FDM printers are getting to a point where I'm almost tempted to buy one. Like, they're getting to a whole new level, dude. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Maybe that's how you make your millions, dude. Maybe you start up a local game store where you're at. What's up, Grumpy? How you doing, buddy? The colored filament prints take way longer than resin. If you want a fully colored one and you waste a ton of filament with the changes, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not a cheap solution, that's for sure. That is for sure. And also, if I haven't mentioned this, the print you're seeing me paint right now is created by Clay Beast Creations. He's one of my favorite 3D modelers. And this was sent out by my friend Resin Reborn. And they have a 3D print shop. And you can check out their stuff at resinreborn.com. And they're awesome. So you'll be able to print a fully painted army. The problem with manufacturing anything, like anything that's like that, it'll never have the flaws. Right? It'll be so perfect that it doesn't look cool, you know? Half the reason we all really like painting these minis is because they're flawed, man. We're flawed people. Like that can't be. It's the same reason we were talking about AI earlier. AI doesn't create flaws. It doesn't create mistakes like how we do, right? And those mistakes are what give models character. Like, there's like 2 or 3 spots on this model where I just didn't paint it well. And I tried my best, but it gives it a sense of wholeness. Like, it's okay not to be perfect. That's what being human is. And that's why I am not afraid of the AI revolution. Because humans, as much as we try to all be perfect, we enjoy the flaws. You know? But that's just like my opinion, man. Exactly. Like, hey, check out this print. You can print it off. Like, then you go to the game store and 3 people have the same army. You're like, not so cool. What's up, Mary? The printer company who prints all of Hero Forge's prints at local, we reached out about their printers, and their lowest one costs us like 80 grand. Oh my god. That's insane. I mean, if you're doing like the amount that they're doing, that makes sense to a degree. But, ew, dude. That's insane. Where's Moana? Are you talking about my little chicken here? Well, technically, this is going to be Moana. That's going to be the little rider. But no one has said that. Everyone said Chocobo from Final Fantasy, but no one said Moana. That's very good. That's very cool. Maybe I need to print up a Maui and Moana. That's fun. Welcome to the party, by the way. It is the exact same color as Hee Hee. I didn't even notice. You're 100% right. I was going for like, this is a Fire Phoenix. This is a Fire Phoenix mount, dude. You know? But yeah, I think I just subliminally, I think I just painted it as, hey. Well, thanks for stopping by, Alex, and thanks for chatting, dude. You gotta hop in again and hang out. You take care, buddy. Oh, thank you. My little fire chicken. Yeah, Hero Forge apparently outsources all the printing to them as contract work. Oh, that's cool. But at least so far the colors are super washed out. Yeah, that's the problem. You can't manufacture a good paint job. You just can't. It's like why the best pottery that's hand painted, that's the one that's most desirable, right? It's because it has character. Someone took time, and there's mild imperfections. It's the imperfections that make your guys' artwork amazing, even though we all hate making imperfections, but that's the name of the game. That's why I try not to be too hard on myself, because what I find to be an imperfection, someone out there thinks is the coolest thing ever, you know? You know, I think today we'll be just finishing off this model. I don't think I'll have time to do the elf rider. That'll have to be tomorrow. I am trying to do it quicker, but I'm also trying to make this display level quality. My lady just made some food. If you want it to look more fiery, just give the feather tips and brighter highlights. I know, well, the reason I'm trying to keep it toned down is because I'm going to do the, there's a giant actual phoenix, and the idea we were going for is this is kind of like one of the children of the phoenix, right? And so we wanted these ones to be more mild in fiery appearance, whereas that phoenix is actually going to be like on fire, you know? But yeah, I definitely could have given these tips here more yellow. I did give it kind of a yellow highlight, but I tried to keep it a little more mild, right? But I tried to keep it mellow-ish, because when there's 10 of these on the table, and then you have your big giant, you know, model that's the size of like this guy here, you know, you don't want it to be outshone by your little guys. Yes, my dear?
Food will be done in like less than 10 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. My lady made me some food because she loves me. Yeah, so the big model is actually going to get sent out to me by Resin Reborn in about a week or so. And I'm planning to do one of those, that big model first out of the collection they're sending me. They're really great people. They're helping me out a lot. Yeah, should ship out at the end of the week. I'm also trying new techniques where I don't use white as my highlight as much. I'm trying to actually tone down my use of white and a couple other colors, and I'm trying to use true triads. So not just, you know, a base color with white or black or brown added to it. I'm trying to like get a little bit better about creating actual pieces without using just you know, white, you know? How long will it take me to get to your level with 0 experience? That's a really good question. The yellow would be too much and take away from the big model. Exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to make the big model the centerpiece. So how long will it take you to get to my level? Okay. In terms of what I actually do, I'm a very simple painter, right? I do a 4-step process, and not including prepping the model, which is, like this is called prepping the model, right? Just getting a primer on it. That's just prep. So after prep, there's 4 stages. Blocking in colors. And then after that, you do a pre-wash highlight. Or a pre-wash highlight, which I usually do with dry brushing. And then I do washes. And then I do highlights with my brush. And if I don't like it, then I'll just start back here and do pre-wash highlights. Wash, highlight. So to get to this level of painting, I'm actually going to do a class here soon. I'm going to start doing classes and one-on-one painting tutorials and tutoring. I legitimately think that if you were to follow my kind of algorithm for how I paint, you could paint like this within probably 10 models. A lot of this skill comes from understanding how light works and understanding color theory, and then brush technique, which is just having accurate brush work. These 3 concepts are actually what makes an amazing painting: light, color, and brush technique. But the actual process itself is really easy. I don't like white highlights. I go more for pastel. Exactly. I actually, so what I do for most of my highlights, and it's kind of like cheating. Here's an example of it. So I have base coated this, and then I dry brushed all of it white. Right? I use a really warm white to dry brush everything. And then on this, do you see how this right here, it has a slight tint? It's not like this. This is pure white. But if you see that edge right there, it's more of a tan. The same with that edge. That is the same thing, but I've washed it. You see how the recesses is really dark? And I'll actually go over this one more time. And I will dry brush with a warm white the whole thing. And then I'll go in with my washes and my contrasts. And that's how I get easy highlights without actually having to edge highlight. I can just dry brush. And I just posted a video on my TikTok showing how I dry brush this one to get really easy edge highlights. So, exactly. You can make a model look really good with patience and simple blocking in. Welcome back, Alex. For sure. I have a Patreon. Right now I just have like a $5 tier. It just means you like me and you want to support me. You are not obligated to do anything with that. I just appreciate you showing up to the live. But eventually, I'm working together with Resin Reborn with an E to start making a subscription-based class that you can attend each month, and it'll be set up so you get the model in the mail and all the materials that you'll need for it. Possibly. We're still working out exactly the kinks. And it'll be about a 3 or 4 hour painting tutorial, and there will be a beginner, intermediate, and advanced level. So, how's my basing? Why are you challenging me, huh? Why are you coming in here asking me about boom? How's my basing? Look at that. Look at that. All right, come on. I actually really hated doing that. That was so much work. I'm actually a really lazy baser. Here's my most recent basing. So I printed up a little cottage. Here, let me show you big man here. So I painted up a little cottage, right? And then I just did some rock terrain. I did kind of like a muddy path, and then I did a little bit of that. I'm gonna do more on this. This was just like quick and dirty, and then I did some grass. This is my lazy base. I'll have to check out your videos. If you have tips on basing that isn't miserable, I'm so down. I have gotten so lazy with basing just because I can't be bothered, right? It's so much work. Like, this is a really cool effect. And honestly, if the whole community could stop upgrading the basing to this outlandish standard, I would be internally grateful because I don't like basing. I don't like basing. It's not fun for me. But now there's a standard out there that you now have to spend just as much time on the model as the base. And I just think that's not okay. For Gunpla, you know, so many people get in here with Gunpla, and I have never messed with Gunpla, and I really want to get into it. You know? But I've been saying this a lot, and I don't know if TikTok's going to get mad, but there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, right? That's a saying in America. And all it means is there's a lot of ways to do something, right? Whether correct or incorrect, easy or hard. There's so many different ways to get the outcome that you want. How I paint, I think, is a very nice and simple way. I don't think anything that I do is inherently impossible or all talent. It's just really just some techniques and know-how that I've developed myself over time and research and learn. Look how cute that little mousey is with the little pink. I'm gonna add just a little bit of red and just give him a little boop. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, look at the little mouse. Look at the little mousey. I don't get to paint cute things. I usually paint things that are dying. Started, yeah, with Gunpla. Thank you. By the way, the mouse is like, look at that. I also have big giant sausage fingers. Let's see, what's something I can, here's a Citadel bottle next to my hand. Right? Shot glass. Got big old, so you can, don't ever tell me you can't paint with big hands, okay? I don't want to hear it. It's not true, you can. Fight past your physical limits. Ooh, my lady has made some delicious food. I can smell it. All right, I'm going to finish this model right now, right in front of your guys' eyes. Boom. I'm going to do the final highlight, and then she's going to walk up the stairs with food, and then I got to go, okay? And all of you in here, all you lovely people, you better be here tomorrow because we're going to do the elf. And this time I'm not going to mess the elf up. That's so nice of you. It is a rare thing, you know, to have time, I feel like, to make dinner for your significant other. And I think it's just about the best way to show your appreciation. I like making dinner for her, and she makes dinner for me sometimes too. She's a busy lady. She's getting her doctorate, so it's very well appreciated when she takes the time to make me a meal. Ooh, look at that. Sorry, I didn't paint that on stream. Look at that gold right there. Do you see how I got like that non-metal metallic? You need to treat metallics. You only want to ever paint metallics where it's going to be actually hitting the light, right? So I have my brightest gold here, and I'm just hitting the tips of where the light's actually hitting. A big problem I see with people who paint metallics is they paint the whole, they base coat with metallics. I'm telling you right now, if you base coat with metallics, you are in for a bad time, okay? There is no way to really build that contrast when your undercoat is just a disco ball. Just a giant disco ball, and it's really hard to paint, because that's the key, right? So do you see how like that chest plate, if you look at the chest plate, I really haven't painted any on the front, but if you look at it from here, it looks super shiny. Same thing with the head on the side. It's non-metal metallic, but with metallic paints. That's the key. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I just try my best to teach people what I know, and what I know is the easiest way to do stuff. I have suffered. I have tried all the different painting methods. I tried slap chop years ago and I wasn't happy with the results I got, so I kind of created my own kind of slap chop method that I feel like people can get better results with. So, but thank you for stopping by, Mary. It's been a blast. But yeah, I have a couple videos. I have a video on my TikTok that shows my whole painting process kind of in a very fast 50-second video. And then I have a YouTube channel that shows how I painted Big Boy over there, the one I showed you earlier. And that's an hour-long video that kind of goes into in depth on how I paint. But yeah, this is all done. So tomorrow is going to be the well, I have to do the eyes, but I'm not doing the eyes tonight. I have shaky hands today. So you have an amazing night. Thank you so much for hanging out. And also Rick Ross, always the man. Always 100. Dean, I just saw that you followed. Thank you so much. If you're still in here, I appreciate it. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. Bro Dad Paints, again, thank you for hanging out. Nate Dogg, I see you in the background. I hope that you guys all have a lovely night. I'm sorry to cut the stream so short, but I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me momentarily. So, same time tomorrow? Cool, sounds good. Love you, bye.